great rabbis of yester year. Friends, we are on Rosh Chodesh Adar, the first of Adar, marks the Hilula of a great rabbi. His name was Rabbi Immanuel Reki, Zechet Tzadik Lebracha. He came from great rabbinic heritage. His father's name was Abraham Raphael, and he would become Rav Reki, a great Italian rabbi, a Kabbalist, and a poet. And he was born in Pereira in the year 1688, and unfortunately was killed near Kento on the 25th February in the year 1743. Happens to be at the start of Adar. Let's explore a few of the highlights of the great rabbi's life. So it's actually approximately 2 years before Rav Reki was born. His father he actually went to Rovigo over there, where I think he would pass away, his father, 4 years later. Reki was unfortunately an orphan from a very, very young age and was brought up by his maternal uncle called Jedida Rabino over there. We're talking about in the late 1600s in itself, and later by his cousin and brother-in-law, the son of the latter. It's actually interesting, after having learned Gemara under Rav Natan Pinkerel, who happened to be the rabbi of Alessandria della Pagilia at that point in time, Rav Reki, or become Rav Reki, became a tutor in the house of several very wealthy Jews. Remember, there was many very wealthy Jewish people at that point in time, especially in Italy in of itself. He was then very successfully employed by Goritz, Florenzola, and let's just say Finale in Modena. Remember, Modena had a great Jewish community at that point in time, and also in Venice. And in the last named place, he would go on to open a school over there. He then went to an area called Trieste over there, where he was ordained as a rabbi in the year 1717 by Rabbi Hillel Ashkenazi, who happened to be the rabbi of that point in time in Kania. After that stage in time, he was invited to the rabbinate of Goris over there. Very interesting. He had a huge passion with regards to studying Kabbalah, and let's just say he would resolve, let's say, to settle in the land of Israel. Obviously, remember, Israel was an epicenter for Kabbalah, especially at the famous time of the Ari HaKadosh, Arizal, Rabbi Luria Ashkenazi, who we've spoken about on various occasions before. It was especially during the 1500s and 1600s, where it was a great center, and also in those days it was at that stage in time. So he would settle in the land of Israel and would arrive in Tzfat. Remember, Tzfat is one of the 4 holy cities of Israel, along with Hebron, Tiberias, and also within regards to Tiberias, Hebron, Jerusalem, and the other city being Tzfat, naturally. So Tzfat, Tiberias, Jerusalem, and Tiberias, naturally Hebron. These are the 4 cities over there. So he very much was a part over there in of itself. And over there, in his stay, he would spend 2 years over there and would study the works of the famous Ari HaKadosh and Rabbi Chaim Vital. These were 2 of the great rabbis over there. And he was ordained, also received a rabbinic ordination by Rabbi Chaim Abu Lafia at that point in time. The Abu Lafia was a rabbinic dynasty for many hundreds of years, and we mentioned on this series already about various different great rabbis from the Abu Lafia family. I believe, sadly, at that point in time, around the 1720 period, an epidemic would break out in Eretz Israel at that point in time, more than those days in Palestine, and Rav Reki had to return to Europe. And on the voyage, he and all his fellow, let's say, the people living there, were unfortunately reported captured by pirates over there and brought to an area called Tripolitza. Well, let's just say there was an effort of Rav Avram Halfon at that point in time. Rav Reki and his family were allowed to return to Italy through the of this person of itself. He would then work in the rabbinate in Florence, I think till the year 1723, in which that year himself he went to Leghorn, I think, where he would spend 12 years working while he would be educating and learning Torah at the same time. He would be working more in the business field at that stage in time over there, which many people had the professions at that point in time, many of the rabbis. He would travel around. It was reported, over 20 months in travel, visiting Semnira, Salonika, Constantinople, and Amsterdam and London. So he visited various different countries over there. Obviously, that will also further his rabbinic career with connections. And then eventually, in the year 1735, he moved back to Eretz Israel, spending 2 years, spending a window of time in Palestine at that point in time, spending 2 years in Aleppo, and then 3 years in Jerusalem. So very much encompassed, encircled about 7-8 different countries, approximately during that point in time. I think come what year 1741, he would return to Lechon, and in 1743, while he was traveling in Italy for the purpose, let's just say, of selling his works, unfortunately he was murdered by robbers at that point in time, and it was reported over, they buried his body by the shore of Reno. It was reported over. I think 6 days later, some Modena Jews discovered the remains and brought them to Cento for burial over there. And let's explore some of the great works of the great Rabbi. Rav Rishi was author of various different colossal works, which was, I think, it's actually listed in the Daily Tzedekим website in a chronological order. I think the first one being mentioned is the Maaseh Hoshev, which was printed in Venice in the year 1716. It was, let's say, a treatise on the construction of the tabernacle. It's actually interesting because we are in a Parshat Truma this week, which is talking all about the Mishkan and the vessels inside the Bet HaMikdash, and the form of compendium of, let's just say, ancient texts on this specific subject in of itself. I think it was with this commentary. The work is followed by Hebrew poem, reported over, on the letters Aleph, Hey, Chet, Ayin, and Resh, respectively. Then there was a Hon Ashir, which was printed in Amsterdam, Netherlands, in the year 1731. Remember, in Amsterdam there was a great printing press. In that time, we spoke about this in the video of Rav Menashe ben Israel, which we related over some months back. This was the commentary on the Mishnah, followed by a poem also, and let's just say it was set to music. It was talking about Shabbat within regards to Brit Milah and also Tefillin. Then there was a Hoshev Machshavot, which was printed in 1732. 1732 was the Agadic novel, let's just say, on the Torah and the Talmud in itself, with the treatise on measurements within regards to mikveh and various other geometrical subjects. Then there was Mishnat Hasidim, which was, I believe, printed in 1727 or compiled at that stage in time. Then the Yosher Levav, it was a Kabbalistic interpretations on the Torah and the Gemara in of itself, and different passages on the different passages over there. Then another great work, we're exploring the works over here, was the Hazet Sion, which I believe was in the year 1742. It was Kabbalistic commentary on Tehillim, on Psalms, respectively. Then the Aderet Eliyahu in the year 1742, which is a commentary on, let's say, the more difficult passages and expressions of the Mishnah and the Gemara, respectively. Now, this was compiled into two different sections, the second of which was entitled the Me'ei Nida over there, and deals, let's say, with a treatise within regards to Nida, and it's followed by 24 responsa reported over. The Sofei Anavim was a novel in of itself, and also the Perot Le Ochma, which various riddles, let's just say, and poems, poetry was very important at that point in time. Among the latter being 6 religious hymns, let's just say, composed for different occasions in of itself. Then there was a responsum of Rav Rishi's on the modulation of the, let's just say, the Kohanek blessing in of itself, the bracha, which is found in Nehemiah in of itself, Metzitz Umelis. I think that was from Venice in 1715 in of itself, and Tosefet Bikurei Katsir, which I don't know if it was published at any stage in itself. Then the Mishnat Hasidim, and let's just say Rav Rishi's most important work, according to many, is Mishnat Hasidim, was a Kabbalistic work, let's just say, which began in the year 1726 in Lechon, over there, respectively. This was a great work in of itself, which we mentioned about on various occasions before. It's arranged, let's say, in orders of Sedarim, which are divided up into Mesechtot, naturally, and subdivided into chapters, various different parakim also. The names of the 6 Mishnah orders being taken in Kabbalistic sense. But the main division, let's just say, of the work are 3 termed, let's just say, Maftehot over there. And there's an introduction with regards to the Olam Katon, which was in which, let's say, the rabbis' endeavors are popularized of the Kabbalah. Let's say the first main division reported over here is Mafteach Olamot, in which, let's just say, the worlds are treated, let's say, containing the order of Zeraim, covering the Kabbalistic cosmology of the metaphysics, and divided into 7 Mesechtot and 18 chapters. Then there was the first main division, then let's just say the order of Kutchim, let's say, covering the realm over there of emanation, Olam HaTzilut, which, let's say, is styled with regards to the formation of the Holy of Holies. It contains 20 Mesechtot and 78 chapters. Let's say the order of Taharot also, which treating the other 3 realms, let's just say, of creative ideas, Bria, let's say, Yitzira, and also Asira, also divided into 9 Masechtot and 27 chapters. Then there was order of Nezikin, of their tree. Let's just say that also. The second main division was the Mafteach HaNeshamot, containing the order of Nashim, let's just say, into 12 Masechtot and 48 chapters. The third main division was called Mafteach HaKavanot, which contained the order, let's say, for Moed, divided into 58 Masechtot and 371 chapters in himself, covering, let's say, the intentions of Kavanah. The number of Masechtot in this work was 112, corresponding to the numerical value of the sacred name Yud Bet Kuf. I'll let you pronounce it yourself. And the number of chapters, 547, equal to the numerical value of Rishi's name, Immanuel Chai Reki, and plus 12, the number of the letters in of itself.